guys, and welcome to Trucking Along with Kearsey. That's me, your positive voice in trucking. It's been a little while, so today we are going to talk about things that you might need to think about and decide whether trucking is for you. Trucking may not be for you. You know, would I love a referral bonus from you for you to come to Prime, for me to train you for your to get your CDL? Absolutely. Put my driver code down in your application, ROTWKI. That's ROTWKI. And if you put recruiter Nikki Yost, we can make that happen. However, that referral bonus means nothing if you don't even stay 6 months. So I want to talk about 5 things that trucking may not be a good idea for you. You know, can anybody do this? Yes. It's a skill you learn. You know, any of us can do anything. And if you want to know how I lost 65 pounds in 6.5 months, comment down below and let me know, because I will do a video about that. And I am even going to set up Prime drivers with a special service from an Herbalife shake shop here in Springfield. They will actually take your orders and then deliver them to the terminal for you when you come swinging by. So let me know down below and I'll make that video. These are in no particular order, but I'm gonna say number 1, if you cannot stand to be uncomfortable, trucking is not for you. You are gonna be uncomfortable in trucking. We have small trucks in small spaces. You are going to be with a trainer in a very small, tiny space that's probably smaller than your powder room at home. Okay? You're going to be on that truck for months at a time with a total stranger. It's not comfortable. And we're not just talking about space and living conditions. We're talking about out in the road, the temperatures we endure.
Good morning, guys, and it's test day, and the other day the test was canceled because of how nasty the weather was, and I don't know if you can see, we got lots and lots of snow. Look. Yeah, I'm making you dizzy, I'm sorry, but lots and lots of snow, and there's a bunch of ice underneath, and luckily my truck started up with no problem. I did sort of had to break into it a little bit. And what I did was I did my little lighter trick on the key, but I also had Windex, and I took a coffee stirrer, like one of those little straws, and stuck it inside the lock, then sprayed this sucker inside, and before you know it, boom, the lock was unlocked. Problem was, the door wouldn't open. I actually had to go inside. I got inside on the driver's side, then the passenger side wouldn't open. I basically had to almost kick the door open to get it de-iced. And look, here's my student. My students are getting a very valuable lesson in what it's like to be in Wyoming in the wintertime.
You know, we wind up having to be in snow, 2-3 feet of snow, and we're driving through ice, and we're dealing with wind. And some of these wind gusts are like 60 miles per hour. So if you're somebody that can't deal with that type of situation, because just walking to the truck stop in -40, you can literally get like windburn and frostbitten if you don't have yourselves covered up.
Look, you're going into a truck wash. During a tornado warning.
Alright guys, look, I am soaked because it started pouring down rain and we got tornado warnings. It started pouring down rain as soon as I get out to go fill the reefer. It's just the way it is. Welcome to trucking. And now I'm gonna pray while she's driving. Phoenix, Arizona, in the summertime, it's 120 degrees. By the time you walk from your truck to go get a shower and you come back, you already need another shower. Being in in the mud. These are all things that are really uncomfortable. I've been in pouring down rain. Last week I was fighting with a trailer door. These two guys had to come out and help me and my student close up the trailer door. I got a little bit of clip of that where they were wrestling with it. And these two guys, had to get a crowbar and lift the door up and put it in, partly because of the mud all around. And so the doors weren't level, and partly because the ground's not level. So you have to fight, you have to struggle. Number two, if you have sleep problems, if you have certain sleep requirements. Now, somebody like me, I've always been a night person, so I've always grabbed naps here and there. So me getting adjusted to trucking, it actually helped me. It helped me to sleep when I wanted, when I was able to understand how to manage my time clock. I was able to learn how to manage my time clock where I'd be able to sleep when my body needed to sleep. But if you're somebody that you're going to require, 6 or 8 hours every night, straight through, uninterrupted, let's try that again, right? Uninterrupted, then, this might not be the job for you. Are there certain divisions in trucking where you may be able to be on a more regular sleep pattern? Absolutely. Drive-in, you will be more likely to sleep during the night and drive days running drive-in or flatbed than you are reefer. Why? Because I have to make deliveries at 10 o'clock at night, at 2 o'clock in the morning, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, at 11 o'clock in the morning. So our schedule is more like a 24-hour thing, and you have to kind of revolve your sleep schedule and your whole life around that. I recently had a student that came in, and when I explained to him, a big part of trucking is not just planning the loads and the routes and things like that. A huge part is actually planning your life. You have to plan when you're going to sleep, when you're going to eat, when you're going to shower, okay, when you're going to do laundry. So when I had said this to this guy, I said, well, just imagine you're ending your day at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You need to be up and driving by 3 a.m. That means if you went in and took a shower, you sat down and got something to eat, now it's like 7 o'clock, right? If you turn on a movie or you're sitting there chit-chatting with your family on FaceTime, now it's like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. You have to be back up and driving by 3 a.m. That leaves you with 5 hours to do whatever, to sleep. And then still get up and brush your teeth and get washed and all that stuff to be ready to roll. That can be really difficult for people. When I explained that to my one student, his response was, what do you mean? I thought the 10 hours was for you to sleep. No, 10 hours is what you get for your off-duty time to get everything you need to get done. So if it takes you 2 hours to wash your clothes, it's during that 10-hour break. So you learn to go throw your clothes in the washer, grab something to eat, go back, throw your clothes in the dryer, then run into the shower. When I was solo, I would just keep a month's worth of clothes on the truck. I would go home and then pay a laundry service to wash my clothes for me. Because guess what? The truck stops are so expensive to wash clothes that I really wasn't even wasting any money, but I saved myself a lot of time of not doing my laundry. If you're somebody that always has to be a planner, and you think you're just going to plan something and it's going to be like that and that's the way it's going to be, it's not going to work. I'm sorry. Sorry to tell you. I have a great student. His name's Tom. Hi, Tom. Right? He's one of my subscribers, and he did give me a referral bonus when he came in. I did train him during the PSD portion in Springfield, and Tom wrote me an email that said, I'm going to test out by October 14th, and then I'm going to wind up completing my TNT by November 28th, and I'm going to be in my own truck by, December 2nd or whatever it was. And I told him, negative, don't even do that. And he thought I was being rude. But the truth of the matter is, I just know how this process works, and things get delayed. Trucks get delayed, trainers get delayed, the trucks break down and wind up in the shop. You know, somebody struggles in the CDL school portion, and it could take longer for somebody to understand the pre-trip or understand the backing. So when you're talking about things like that, you're stressing yourself out when you're trying to stick to a timeline. My suggestion would be, come in and be as flexible as you can and understand things are constantly going to change. Customers, you get to a customer and you find out, oh, there wasn't an appointment scheduled, or oh, they had too many trucks come in and not enough people showed up for work that day, so they're pushing you off a day. You get to a customer and you find out, oh crap, like my truck has a problem, or the trailer has an issue, and then you have to go get that fixed, and now you're a day behind what you thought you should be. So a lot of things happen out here, and if you can't be flexible, you're going to be miserable. Trust me. Something else is, trucking is not RVing. This is not a travel agency, so don't come into this with the idea of, I'm going to get paid to see the country. No, you will see that sunset, you will see that sunrise, you will see it come over the mountain, and you will see everything. You'll go right by it, everything that you see off to the side. There be times where you can stop and enjoy some of the tourism stuff? Yes. Are there going to be certain loads that have more time on it? So maybe you might be able to stop and enjoy something. You might be able to stop off at a scenic overlook and take some pictures. Yeah, that's going to happen. But if you think that you're going to be like driving along and then, you're going to be like, okay, well, I got plenty of time to, spend 2 nights in Niagara Falls, or, it's not going to happen unless you use your home time. Now, can you do that? Absolutely. But that also means that if you're a company driver, we get a certain amount of time that we can use, as home time. So I lived in New Jersey, I could still take home time in Vegas. I live in Missouri now, I can take home time in Florida if I want. So that's not an issue. But when it comes to leasing, do you have more flexibility to be going and doing tourism and seeing those monuments and things like that? Yes, but at the same time, every day that you're down, you're still paying for those truck payments, you're still paying for the insurances and things like that. So anytime you take down, you're either jeopardizing your profitability as a lease, or you're utilizing your home time instead of being home with your family. So it is a toss-up. It's not going to be RVing. Something else is, if you can't make decisions, then don't think about this. Some people can be really good co-drivers. If you want to refer to them as betas, I've had people on my truck that were really good co-drivers. They were safe. They would, they could have long endurance. They were able to do this as long as I was there to tell them what to do. I'd have to trip plan for them. I'd have to tell them where they could stop. I'd have to tell them where they should fuel. I'd have to tell them which route was better. Things like that. I'd have to actually tell them, okay, we have an extra 3 hours so we can stop and we can get laundry done. They didn't want to do any of that because it was responsibility and it was stressful for them. So if you are that kind of person, you'll have to figure out, if you're going to come into this, you're going to wind up teaming with somebody. And can you team with somebody? Can you team with a stranger? Can you feel comfortable enough relying on somebody else? Something else that one of my students came up with was he couldn't fathom the responsibility of truck driving. Okay. I don't think he realized how much responsibility we have until he was behind the wheel himself. And, I start every day, before I turn my key, I say, today is the day I can kill somebody. Today is the day I could die. Today is the day that I have to prevent myself from killing a family of 4 in a Toyota. If you don't have the guts to be able to say that, if you don't have the inclination to even understand that that's a risk, don't come out here. I don't want your referral bonus money because you don't have what it takes. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm saying that this is a really serious job. I don't like the way that some marketing companies promote, or even some of these special interest groups will promote and make it look like, oh, anybody can do this and this is great and, it's great money and there's a driver shortage. No, there isn't. There isn't a driver shortage. That's bunk, okay? There isn't a driver shortage. Especially right now, the economy sucks. Are we always going to need good, safe drivers? Absolutely. We will. The economy will pick back up. And when it does, we're going to need safe, skilled drivers. Also understand, if you're one of those people that you don't want the responsibility, understand we are held to a higher standard. We have different standards as far as cell phone usage. It's not legal for anybody to be on a phone texting while they're driving. However, if you get caught, you have the ability to lose your CDL. A lot of times fines can be doubled for us when it comes to alcohol consumption and driving. The standards for a CDL holder with alcohol in their blood is a lot different than somebody who's driving a car. Understand the risks, because if you don't, you're putting the entire public at risk, you're putting yourself at risk, and you're risking whether or not you're going to go home to your family. If you're somebody that has a lot going on in their life, trucking might not be for you right now. Divorce, changing jobs, buying a house, death, bankruptcy, these are some of the most stressful times in a person's life. So if you're in the middle of a divorce and you're buying a house and you're moving or whatever, trying to change jobs and learn this probably isn't a good idea right now. It's better to settle your stuff and then come out here, because otherwise you again could put people at risk. Your distractions could put you at risk. And not only that, but if you have to keep coming off the road and going home to deal with, court dates or signing settlements for buying houses and selling houses and things like that, you're going to have some issues. Recently, I had a student who had an ill family member, and then that person passed away. So my student's out on the road and now feeling guilty that they may not have, they may have been able to spend a little bit more time with that loved one, and that's going to be an issue. That's going to be guilt that you're going to feel. So make sure that you get everything settled before you decide to come out here. I want to say thank you for watching. I appreciate your subscriptions. I appreciate all your comments and your views. I do answer all of my emails, so you can feel free to email me at truckingalongfun@gmail.com. That's truckingalongfun@gmail.com. If you want me to train you in the CDL portion and come here to Springfield at Prime, make sure you put my driver code ROTWKI. That's ROTWKI. And I hope to see you out here trucking along. Bye.